Welcome to FT Data Center. Drew here. Have you ever looked at a 30-ton crack unit and thought, that thing doesn't look like it weighs 30 tons? First of all, define terms, crack unit stands for computer room air conditioner. It's really just a fancy version of the air conditioner that you have in your house. It takes hot air, runs it through cold coils, and spits out cold air on the other side. But where does that 30 tons piece come from? First, a caveat. You should only care about this if you live in the United States, Liberia, or Myanmar, because everywhere else in the world, they use this other metric you might have heard of, this kilowatt. Well, if you are still in the US, here's an explanation of a ton of refrigeration. Here we have 2 pounds of ice. If we had 1,000 of these, we'd have a ton of ice. A ton of refrigeration is based on the cooling equal to the amount of energy it would take to make 1 ton of ice over the course of 1 day, or 288,000 BTU. But we're more interested in an hour rather than a day, so a ton is actually 1/24 of that, or 12,000 BTU. So melting these 2 pounds of ice over the course of an hour produces 1/1000th of a ton of cooling. Let's put this in our data center and see how much actually it cools us down. You can see that we placed the ice in the raised floor area of our fish tank data center. We're going to show side by side the difference between using ice and no ice. So that 2 pounds of ice took about 5 minutes to melt, which means we provided about 1.2% of a ton of cooling. After 5 minutes, the ice data center was 30 degrees cooler than the non-ice side. So that 1.2% actually goes a pretty long way, even with the 2 kW blow dryer on top of it. It's not the greatest source of cooling because you have to physically lug a block of ice to your data center in order to cool it down, like in olden days. Ice melting is not the quickest endothermic process in the world. It's a phase change from solid H2O to liquid H2O. In general, a more practical phase change is to take some liquid and convert it into a gas. This can be water evaporating over a coil, or it can be high pressure refrigerant recirculating from liquid to gas and back again in a closed loop. But either way, you're looking at the same type of energy change as it took to melt this ice, which is why we can express it in tons. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay centered. Brought to you by Greenlane Design. To learn more, visit greenlanedesign.com. Stuxnet, the worm that infiltrated the Iranian nuclear enrichment plants, was installed